Hi, living in Boulder vlog, October 25th, 2019, Friday, 7:17 in the morning. So, I've been working all night. I just had my energy drink. And then I had an apple and can't remember what. No. I cooked up a TV dinner, a Mexican, like Amy's enchilada dinner for brekkie. So, and then I can have some like eggs. The eggs are like 14 days past due. I forgot that I had them in there and got to cook those up for breakfast. But yeah, I didn't eat so much yesterday. I didn't go to my mom's house. I've been going to her house like every day. So I've been working. So yeah, yesterday, hey, let's see what my Dreamweaver's doing. Yeah, Dreamweaver's stuck. Yesterday, I think was the first day that I was double doozying it, which I like, man. I like the double doozy, especially when you're doing it with two biggies. Yeah, and so, because the thing is, you lose your interest in something if you feel like you've been doing it too long. But if you're doing two things, does that make it so that you can have double the interest? You know what I mean? Like if your mind psychologically you're set to 3 weeks of interest, and you're doing one thing for 3 weeks, and then you fall into the 1 weeker, like how I've been doing. Like, would you go? So just say, just for argument's sake, you're used to 3 weeks, right? With one project. Well, what happens if you bifurcate and you double doozy it? Does that mean that you can do that for 6 weeks? Or does it keep it at 3 weeks? Or do you compound it, exponentialize it, and does that take you all the way up to 4 times whatever I was talking about? So give me catch up to myself. 3 weeks. Okay, yeah, 3 weeks, 6 weeks. 6 weeks times 2 is 12 weeks. 12 weeks, which is 3 months, right? So, or 3 or 4 months. Sorry. 3 months, yeah. 3 months, which is 1/4 of a year. Yeah, or maybe you could go a whole year or 6 months. So, anyways, what I'm doing is see, I don't want to do one project on Google Earth. I mean, Google Earth on one. No, Dreamweaver on one and then Dreamweaver on the other, because my brain will like fry. I'll get bored. But if I'm doing Dreamweaver on one, website on one, and Google Earth on the other, right? You're talking about non-mental burnout. Plato is actually talking about that. Man, I need to. Yeah, I'll have to find out exactly where he said it. But he said, I think it was somewhere in Dialogues. He's saying something about how if you make, it's, talking about education. I think it's in the Republic. He's talking about if you're making kids study something that they don't want to study, their brains will burn out on it quicker. But if you have them study something that they're interested in, their brains won't burn out. So anyway, it's providing me a wonderful balance between the two, like a 50-50, or, I mean, my Dreamweaver is still frozen right now, and it's been frozen for the last like 3 or 4 hours or whatever. I've been working, can't remember, I should be taking notes, but a long ass time, hours. And so I've been doing my Google Earth. So let me talk about what I'm doing on Dreamweaver. I get to talk about 2 different projects. So let me talk about my Dreamweaver first. My website. So that's the U.S. law code. And yesterday I was busting that all day long on Title 15, which is called Agriculture, I think, but I can't remember. Maybe that's 5. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't really pay attention to that. I just smoke weed, listening to music. I haven't really been listening to stuff, though. I was listening to Montesquieu, though. I did a few chapters of Montesquieu. I'm finally trying to getting back into actually listening to books instead of just smoking weed and listening to music. But yeah, I was doing Montesquieu a bunch of times. But as far as my website on Dreamweaver, what I'm doing is I Oh man, my brain, I'm like forgetting what I'm doing. It's, oh yeah, the US law code and I'm like really high. I think I got really high right before doing this. Um, I was on 15, Title 15, which had 138 actually. Man, I need to make sure it's the same because I could have sworn it said 129 on my menu page. 138 chapters, but a lot of them had like a bunch. Like a lot of them had over 100. So imagine what 100 times 100 is. Like that's how many links I just created manually. And that was just Title 15. And then Title 16 has 144. And so what I did was I opened up Title 16 and then I chopped out the first 20 of Title 16 out of 144 because that's the number I use. That's what I've been using. And so that what that does is it takes forever to cut it out, or maybe it doesn't take that much to cut it out, but then it takes forever to paste on the order of hours, like 5 hours or whatever. And so that's what we're doing now, where I'm waiting for 1 to 20 to paste onto the other page. And once it pastes on the other page, I can then cut out, one individually and put them on a third page where I can, on that page, batch edit all of the links for it. And so all I have to do after that is, double click and then add 1, 2, 3, 4, just one click, one tap of the key so it goes by real quick. So, yeah, and so it doesn't have to go by quick if I'm not waiting for it because I just look over there every few minutes or hours or whatever. And if it says still thinking, and, I'll let this thing go up to 24 hours in case it gets extra stuck, which it could easily do because sometimes 20 chapters are bigger than others, and I could accidentally grab a 20 chapter that has like each of the 20 chapters has 100 mini chapters, and so you're just take something that overdoes it. This gets cooked easily because it has tables within tables. Like all of my other books have just a table and a table. It's like yeah, it's just the chapter, and then in the chapter maybe like a mini chapter, and that's it. But with this one, with the U.S. Law Code, there's lots of little ones inside others, and so I have tables for the coloring, and it makes it exponentially more difficult. It makes it exponentially smaller, the pages that the Dreamweaver can handle before it freezes, and so, I mean, this thing was going spent, and sometimes when you're pasting the single chapter back into the second page, it takes forever, and I just have to start working on Google Earth for a half hour when it does that. And, and sometimes it takes forever even when it's a small page. It's not even that much. So, but as long as it doesn't just totally freeze on me. So I think I've waited 24 hours before or whatever, and it didn't do anything. So, but I think that was only once. So, and I wasn't double tasking when that happened. So I think I'll give it, at least 24 hours. I should remember then exactly when that was. It's like 6 in the morning now. It was like 2 in the morning or whatever. So I'll just wait all day today and all night, and then in the morning sometime tomorrow I'll look at it, and if it's still frozen, I'll be like, all right, fine. I have to shut down the program and then open up Title 16, only cut out 15 chapters. Yeah. Instead of 10, I'll go down to 15. But, that hasn't happened yet. Oh, shit, I shouldn't eat an apple while I'm doing the video. So, so that's basically where I'm at on my U.S. Law Code. I'm on Title 16 out of 54. So, and that was like my first day that I've been double doozying it. So, I mean, that's pretty damn good progress. And after I'm done with that, the next step is to go and make the second level of menus. And if I can make the second level of menus just as fast as these menus, okay, now is it going to be longer? Because each one of those has to have its own. I don't know. I'm not smart enough right now to figure that out. But, the way that I figure it out is I'll just do like one of them, and then we'll see how long it takes, and then multiply it by 54, and yeah. But, after I do that, the only step after that is pasting in the actual laws, and then you're freaking done with the law code. And then you have to do the word count. But you could do a word count of each of the 54 pages, and then you'd find out exactly how many pages each title is and the entire law code is, which I'm really curious about. Because there's that rumor that, oh, the law code of just for the tax code's 20,000 pages, bro. And I'm like, oh, really? Like, oh, wow. Like, how many, you know? And also, when it's all on one page, this is the main reason why I put the law code on my website, you know, why I deemed it worthy of like an entire, who knows how many months, 2 months worth of solid work or whatever at the end of the day. It's because you can have it read to you, you know, like in the future, we're going to be smart enough. Our brains are going to get smarter. You know, our IQs are going to continue to go up, and we're going to start to get interested in just learning the whole law code, you know, why the fuck not? But in order to do that, you have to be able to have it all on one page where you can just, you know, control A, you know, select all the text and then you know, read it, right click speech to text, and then you just hear the law code while you're doing something for like 10 hours. Only you're paying attention to it, and it's speaking real fast. So then you memorize the whole law code because your IQ's higher. So that's why I put it up there. I want to try it. I want to listen to it. Because, you know, you don't have to memorize something the first time you listen to it, but if you listen to the entire thing, you know, you learn a lot about the general structure of it and what the general message, and you get all kinds of ideas on, you know, how you would make one. What I want to do is put the U.S. law code on. I want to put like maybe like an international one, like the UN Charter, and then I want to do state code, law code, city law code, and then a personal one. Wouldn't that be amazing? Do a personal one. I want to. Yeah, that would be wow. Try to make it as detailed as you can, and to kind of model it off of the other ones, the legal ones. So I don't think anybody's ever done that, like a really detailed one. The closest thing I can think of would be like, I guess, Plato, you know, and Aristotle. Yeah. All right, maybe the Bible. I don't know. So anyway, okay. So now as far as yeah, so I don't know how long that is going to go by, but it'll go. Yeah, it's like. I mean, it seems to me like the law code will go by quicker than the Google Earth. But let me talk about what's going on with Google Earth. So, Google Earth, I'm doing, and that's kind of where I left off before, is the aqueducts of ancient Rome, and I left off, I guess, like I wasn't as far along as I thought I was, and I was kind of tracing stuff, and I actually screwed stuff up, like went backwards, because I do this sometimes. I was doing my last two projects, where I'm not as smart as I think I was, and so I was looking at it, I was like, that's not logical that the is over at Lake Braccaccio. Why the aqueduct goes along the long way? It should cut across. So I cut it across, and then I was like, wait, hey, I got to look at all these maps again. I don't remember when it was, but it was a while since I was working on this, because time zooms by for me, which means that I had forgotten stuff. And so I looked at the map and I went, oh shit. Well, on the map it shows that the aqueduct went the long way. So now I have, and so I changed it from how it was before. So I have to change it back over. So anyway, so it was just that one. And then I was deleting stuff about aqueducts I already traced inside Rome, because I figured I'd done it somewhere else, and I remembered, oh shit, no, like this is the aqueduct, even in the inside of Rome too, not just the outside. And it's a huge project. I'm starting to remember it's a huge project and how like little along I was. I thought it was a much smaller project, and I was farther along. But the aqueducts of Rome is no joke. I mean, it's no joke as far as the history. It's a big part of Roman history. It's also a big part of building. If you want to build Rome, building the aqueducts is a big major. I didn't totally do it thoroughly with like my line of sight with the ones coming from the mountains. Like they go uphill a lot, and but I was tracing it like on the maps, like it was on the maps. And so if it's like that on the map, I try to stay as true to the source as possible, because I trust that whoever created these maps, drew the stuff on the map, knew with their shit. And so I try to be as close, but if you do it like it is on the map, they go uphill. But they did have the pressurization, and they did drill tunnels. So, anyways, but I didn't like totally look at it with the 3D and make it sure that it was going down along the contours of the land perfectly for the mountains. But it was good enough. So yeah, so so yesterday what I did was, it was just a bunch of random stuff. I was just cleaning it up, looking at it, converting these the ruined ones that I copied off of somewhere else to fit more how I do it, and then just random stuff, and trying to figure out the links, and just whatever. But I did a lot, so even and one thing I want to do is I'm kind of getting, when I realized I had to build the aqueducts inside the city, I started to get a little bit like, whoa. It's like super complicated. It'll take 100% of my brain power. There's no fucking way in hell I'm going to want to be listening to any text while I'm doing it. If I'm listening to music, be high and listen to music. I remember a long time ago, like 20 years ago or whatever, or maybe before, or maybe even more recently, probably, until before weed got legal and I got desensitized to it. If I get super high, I wouldn't be able to do something super complex, mentally challenging, like maybe like this, But now when I get high, it doesn't faze me at all. It doesn't make me any worse at anything. I could be writing, I could be trying to translate from a map onto Google Earth, I could be trying to figure something out on my website. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. I don't know if I'm less high or if I'm smarter. Yeah, it's just something. The human body and mind is very adaptable, so, and weed is a natural thing, plant, and your brain is natural. So if you mix the two, mixing two natural things, you just adapt to each other, We've been smoking weed since the beginning of time. Herodotus talked about how the Scythians, who were my ancestors, or everybody's ancestors, used to smoke weed and sing and stuff, and they found a bunch of weed and about a lot of the Scythian burial sites too. So we've been getting high off weed forever. But anyway, how the hell did I get on that tangent? I'm not yawning. I've been up forever and I'm yawning. Oh, it's because I just had a freaking energy drink. You know what? I need to have energy drinks and then do my video right after the energy drink so I don't yawn. Oh, wow, that's an amazing discovery I made today. I learned something today, Mama. So anyway, I have to go to my mother's house today. Maybe I should call her. I think she said like 12, yeah. Maybe I'll go to sleep, but I'm a little bit wired. I should go and work on my Google Earth. So the Google Earth, it's a huge project. And it was difficult. I'm like, and I want to get through it because I think that's why I bounced off of it, because my brain just overheated on them. And so what I want to do is, as soon as my Dreamweaver comes back to life, I'll maybe do another round on it. I don't know, but I'd like to stop as soon as I can. And I want to use my Dreamweaver computer as an aid to my Google Earth computer, because you can hit the little icon, I don't know, the AirPlay icon. I have Apple TV, and a 70-inch TV, and I have two Macintoshes one Macintosh up here, and then the other Macintosh there, and then the TV right there. And then I got my cell phone right here. So, but I can switch between the two Macintoshes on my 70-inch TV like that. It's really fast. There's no lag at all. It's just like, bing! And then, but with Google Earth, I have to, and for it to work, I have to hit the green button, like the maximize button, to take up the entire screen, and then I have to have the green button again to get it back to its normal size. Otherwise, if I try to zoom in, it won't zoom in. It'll like zoom in off to the side, and then it won't show me the controller over here on this end. So yeah, it's weird. So I have to go GG and then it resets. But that's the only thing, So that way I could open up Google Earth, Rome, the city, and look at it in the detailed on this computer, and then switch over really quick to the computer that I'm building the aqueduct on to build it in to get clues and know where I want to put it and know what's going on and know what I've already built and stuff, because I can't have Google Earth open with Rome and the aqueducts and then the maps opened up, all three of those on my Google Earth, because it'll crash the program. It's way too big. That's why Google, before they took it off. They're I don't know what's going on with the Rome Reborn people, but they used to have it where you could put it onto Google Earth, and it's not even there anymore. You can't even find it. I was making fun of them, talking trash about them, and then they took it off. They probably got all embarrassed. But the way that Google used to have Rome on was that it was the Rome Reborn people. They'd have like all the buildings on there. They're all bragging. They go, we got like 2,700 buildings on Rome and shit. But like, it's all connected via stream, right? And so if you don't have a good internet connection, which I didn't when I was looking at that, you zoom in and there's no buildings. You have to wait for like a minute for them to finally appear one by one. Ding, 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 ding. And you're like, dude, why don't you do it the way I do it, where you just download the whole thing onto your computer and then you open up, and if your computer's not fast enough, too bad for you. Like, open up the simpler version, because I'll have lots of different versions, but that's what I have to do. You know, I can't have everything open up. That's why I have my Rome actually broken up into the 14 regions. I don't have it all in one. And when I do the YouTube videos for it, I'm going to have to figure something out. Like, I'm going to have to break it up into special chunks that'll work with YouTube, because it won't pan. It'll freeze. But I'm building those for the next generation. Computers will work great for it. So that's what I'm up to with the aqueducts. It's a huge project. I mean, I feel like maybe just the aqueducts themselves will outlast the frickin' law code. That's what I feel right now. I'm really curious to see how it'll turn out in the end, because that's what I love about life is going down a path of a project you have, and then trying to predict, what's going to happen when, and so, or not knowing, and then finding out what happens. So I'm super curious to find out. Well, number one, how long am I going to hold interest on this? But number two, what's going to burn? What am I going to get to the end of first? The law code or Rome? And if so, like, which one of Rome? So. I mean, it's not like I'm that far along with Rome, and maybe law code's going to freeze the shit out of me all the time. So who knows, man? So predictions. Oh, let's see here. Okay, I think I'll. You know what? I'd probably be working on these two bitches unless I get like super fired up to do something. I do have to fix a link on my Bicycle Racer Levels page. I clicked on the 40 kilometers levels once just to look at something, and fucking link was broken. So I'd like to go and fix that link pretty soon, but I hope it doesn't make me go like, oh no, Bike Racer level I have to work on, because I think I'll be focused on these two pages, this double upper, for the rest of the year, and that's 2 more months, a little over 2 more months in a week. So what's that? 9 more weeks. By then, I will be diggity done with the aqueducts, and I'll be working on the regions of Rome, and I'll be really far along and super jazzed, and I will be like pasting the text. No, I won't be that far along. I'll be like just beginning with the pasting of the text on the U.S. law code. So I'll probably be like, oh, yay, let's go another 2 months on this, and maybe I'll be done in 2 more months. So maybe I'll be thinking I'll be done with both of them, all of Google Earthing of Rome and all of the law code by the end of February, the beginning of March. Now, the exciting thing about the law code, the Google Earthing of Rome, is that once I'm done with Google Earthing of Rome, and I'm not that far along with Boulder and Boulder Rome as well, but once I'm done with, and I've actually got entirety of history as well, but as soon as I'm done because the first thing I'm going to be done with will be Google Earthing of Rome. As soon as I'm done with the Google Earthing of Rome, I can do YouTube videos, dude. And that's going to blow up. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. It's going to blow me away. Because the way that I built Rome and Google Earth is inside and outside, man. It's not just outside. You can go inside. I have like tiled floors. I have colored walls. I've got stairs, pools, you know, like sidewalks and stuff. Crazy. Like detailed, the entire city. So you could do YouTube videos of that. Like all kinds. I'm going to do triathlons, all kinds of triathlons. Anyway, and then of course the history of it. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. Okay, so like by tomorrow, what am I going to be up to? Tomorrow I'm going to be at the same level, farther along though, and it's so hard to say as far as Google Earth goes. As far as my website goes, I will be on chapter 16. I'll be busting ass on chapter 16. It'll be all day tomorrow. Maybe I'll finish it tomorrow if my computer doesn't crash, but whatever, we'll see. All right, talk to you tomorrow.